Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Hidden Gems. As you can see, this is episode 13. And I'm excited to have my boy Jeffery Miller with me coming in to talk today. You know what I'm saying? It should be a good time, good conversation. Jeffery's one of those cats just putting in work on the scene, you know. I could talk about the various groups that he plays with, but I want to wait for him to get here and have that conversation. But we're definitely excited to talk to him and all that good stuff. But while we're waiting on him, man, I just want to once again thank all the street team, everybody who's been putting out the word about the podcast or about the live interviews, Hidden Gems. Hey, appreciate you, dog. Thank you, man. How you doing, man? I hope everything is well, and I appreciate you, man. So yeah, man, everybody who's been putting in the word on the live streams and all of that stuff, man, I really appreciate you guys. You know, everybody who's been asking about it, checking in any way that you have been supportive, it really does mean a lot. We got some cool things coming up ahead. I'll talk about a couple of the people coming up. So Friday, we have the incredible Junius Paul, my main man out of Chicago. He'll be coming up on Friday. Sunday, we're going to be bringing in the great Oren Evans. Oren Evans is coming in, the pianist out of Trenton, New Jersey, you know, but I mean, adopted hometown of Philadelphia where he lives. And I think the Tuesday after that, we're going to be talking to Terrace Martin, incredible saxophonist. So I'm very excited and like I said, just thrilled that, you know, all the feedback from the musicians and the community has been really appreciated and valued. And, you know, so I'm going to work on getting some more different equipment in here so we can really take this thing to the next level. But I appreciate everybody. So let me see. Let me see if I could get, let me see if I could request Jeffery to get in here a little quicker. Nope. All right. Well, we just gonna wait then. So what's going on with y'all? Y'all got any questions for me? There he is. Look, you saved me, bro. I was about to have to go in my bag. I'm like, all right, I got some jokes, I got some impressions. You know, I was about to get it though. The McBrizzle hour. Let me add you up in this. Man. All right, but yeah, thank you guys for sticking around and all that good stuff. What's going on, my man?
My bad, bro. I was waiting on UPS. Just hit me when it was time, so I had to swipe real quick.
Yeah. It's good, all good, bro? Man. We got time. We waiting on you. You the man of the hour.
Quite literally, I guess.
Yeah, man. So what's been going on with you? You know, I like to just always start with like a real check-in, like a mental health check-in and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know, how you been, what you been doing since you've been under quarantine, you know, what you been doing to stay positive and healthy during this time?
Honestly, I feel like I wouldn't really be, I would definitely be trying to make music, but I'll probably be in bed most of the time if it wasn't for school.
That's real.
And
by the way, congratulations! You finished your masters. I mean, you know, you got your bachelor's from Juilliard, you got your master's from Juilliard, and I definitely want to talk about that experience too. But yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. So you were getting up for school, doing stuff for school.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have that many classes, but it definitely got me up at least every Tuesday and Thursday. And then I just spent the time relaxing and just watching some Netflix shows that my friends might be in, and you know, stuff like that. But besides school, I feel like I would just be using the time to work with my manager, and I are just sort of strategizing and deciding what we want to, you know, proceed with musically. And we're working on releasing some music by the end of the month. So.
Okay, cool. Killing. So, that's what's up, man. Well, you know, I thought you were for me. I thought you know, first of all, you're the first trombonist to be on the live interviews.
But I really like the question that you posed where you said, you know, what instruments. I never hear other instrumentalists talk about, you know, their trombone influences.
Yeah, it's never really brought up for real.
You know, I thought it was a cool question. I thought, you know, and everything that you're doing, you know, I love the versatility of the projects you're working with. Just to name a few, I'll throw a few out there. You let me know if I miss any, okay?
Yeah.
So you've worked under your own name, you know, with your own band. We should start there. You worked with John Legend recently.
Yep.
You worked with Prince's original band, New Power Generation.
Yeah, that was a fun show. Shout out to Bria Swanberg.
Yeah, shout out to Bria for that one. Yeah. You worked with Jazz. Well, you've done a couple of tours with Jazz at Lincoln Center.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And
good times.
I think that's a good start. You know,
Mac Miller, Anderson .Paak. That's
Mac Miller. Yeah.
Rest in peace.
So yeah, exactly. Yeah. So what would you say, like, you know, what has been the most mind-blowing experience so far, where you just kind of looked around and be like, I can't believe this is happening?
Bro, I would say I did Madison Square Garden with Arcade Fire and Preservation Hall Jazz Band, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Sold out, 20,000 people. Like, the stage was in the middle of the arena. And, like, it was literally like we were on a cloud in the middle of, like, 2,000 people. And it was crazy, bro. And then it literally felt like a dream. And then we went out into the subway and started jamming with people. And they were like, wait, you were just on the... It was a really dope moment, bro.
It's like, man, well, you was just on the stage with them.
Exactly. Like, it's like, how'd you get here? And then we had to use the freight elevator. We had to use the freight elevator to get down there in time to catch people as they were leaving the show.
Wow.
It was a vibe, bro, for real.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up, bro. What would you say, how important is it for you to be known as a versatile artist? Because, you know, for me, I know I've always said, you know, when my time is done, you know, on this earth, you know, I want to be known as a musician. I don't want to be known as a great jazz musician. You know, I'd rather be known as like a great musician. You know, like
exactly.
I mean, because there's a bunch of cats who have started in the jazz arena, but now we know them for play. You know, like when I think about a couple people. I mean, you think about like Ben Williams, and he plays like he was playing with I can't think of any names right now, but I mean, like,
I know what you mean, though.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like making that leap from a jazz musician to just a musician who was known for many genres. How important is that to you, would you say?
That's really important, bro. I feel like nowadays we have some. I mean, not back in the day also, but especially nowadays, we have so many influences, and people's music tastes are so diverse. People don't just listen to one thing.
Yeah.
So I feel like it'd be crazy if my guy Miles is in here. What's good, Miles? Miles Yachts. Speaking of versatility.
Shout out to Miles. By the way, I was gonna say if we on a live feed and I don't shout you out, don't take it personal. I don't want to be interrupting people. You know, like imagine if you was talking, I was like, hey, shout out to Miles real quick. You'd be like, yo, what?
I mean, speaking of versatility, I mean, Miles is like the definition because he's a hell of a dancer and he's a rapper. Like I mean, you know, it's like we have so many influences, so many talents these days. So I feel like, why pigeonhole yourself? I mean, there's the whole debate about jack of all trades versus master of one. Mm-hmm. But it's like,
or master of none.
Oh, master of none. Exactly, bro. Exactly. So I feel like it's just like, I almost feel like you're doing a disservice to your talent if you're not at least just exploring those different avenues. Because if anything, it'll enhance, or it'll just help out anything else you have going on, because I think it just everything feeds each other. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I just love so many different types of music, and I'll probably
let's talk about some of your influences coming up? I mean, we know you came up in New Orleans. Shout out, got to talk about it. 305 all day.
Yeah.
So, but coming up in New Orleans, like what were some of your musical influences? Because you've had a lot of I mean, I'm sure you've had mentors throughout the years, but like talk to me about like your influences, maybe some of your mentors, that kind of thing.
So like you said, I grew up in New Orleans. I mean, I heard I never really thought about it. I never really paid it that much mind. Like my neighbor was a Zydeco musician. Like he had CDs and stuff like I never really thought about it for real until I got in middle school and my teacher put a horn in my mouth and paused. And I had to and
it's all good. We're all secure around here. It's all good.
Sure.
But I was going yeah, so now you're talking about the trombone. Like how did you come up on the trombone,
Oh yeah. So I mean I started singing, but like
okay, you were a vocalist first.
Yeah, but I never had any vocal training. Like to this day I never had a vocal lesson. Like, it just was I just would mimic what I heard like on the radio or what my grandma was saying around the house or in church or whatever, and I would just, I guess naturally be influenced by whatever I heard. But I think the training started when I was in middle school. When I was on vocals, then I auditioned for drums, and then I wasn't very good, and so he put me on trombone, just randomly, and then I started to get better. I guess get really good at it rather quickly, I guess. And then was it another situation where you were on a trombone, you were just kind of copying what you heard, or I would say it probably started like that. I think it was more just like he would teach us, the basics like buzzing and rhythms and stuff like that, and I would just pick it up really quickly, and then he would notice and he would want to study with me. He would want to get together privately and really help me. I guess he would always say he wanted me to help me discover my potential for real. Because he saw that I was like progressing faster than most of my peers. So he wanted to, he didn't want to waste that. So that's what he said. I'm just quoting.
This your middle school teacher?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Shout out to the middle school.
Keith Hart. Keith Hart, for sure.
Hearing the potential.
You already know. That's really what people need. Like that's really what you need. It only takes one.
Yeah, for sure. And so I was talking to somebody about this. It's not that you need validation, but it's nice when you have it's like if you at a party, right, and the song come on and everybody know you can dance. And they just start getting around you and trying to hype you up. It's like that,
It's like that, yeah.
Yeah, like you could dance by yourself, but when you have somebody pushing you and being like, "Yo, man, this would be dope. Like you should do this." It brings about a different energy out of you.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It just
for sure.
Yeah, I think it just exactly what you said. It only helps. It doesn't really take away.
Yeah, man.
But I think it was through studying with him that he was friends with all the brass band cats. I think that's when I first met. That's how I first met Shorty, Trombone Shorty, because he came to a middle school concert. I think it was a Friday in middle school. I don't even know how old I was, but my music teacher was hosting this brass band kind of party thing in the reset on the basketball court outside, and I think Rebirth Brass Band came. It was either Rebirth or Hot 8 Brass Band that came and just was playing and hanging out, and I had never really seen anything like that up close and was in the mix of it, and had my horn and was ready to play, and then Trombone Shorty came and just it was a whole nother thing for me. I was like, yo, this guy. And I think that's when the bug really hit. I was like, this is a thing. You can actually sound good on this and make people feel something,
What year? How old were you when that happened? That was actually a fan question. When did you start taking music seriously? It was a fan question. Yeah.
Oh, those are two different things.
He said I could be good, but when I started taking it seriously,
right, exactly.
Yeah.
I think I was about at least 11, I think.
Dude, that's mad young, bro, to decide that you want to do it. You know what I mean?
I think I was 11 when I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I might have to stick with this, especially if my teacher's telling me that I might be good at it.
Yeah.
Because I think up until then, I wanted to be like a math professor or like a cartoon animator or some, you know?
Okay, yeah. I was gonna ask, do you like what's your hobbies outside of music? Because a lot, like for me, I love watching ball. I love watching basketball and listening to podcasts and all that stuff. And that's the only sport I really rock with. I mean, like I rocked with football, but I mean, especially after Cap, I kind of stopped watching. And then baseball,
Yeah.
just for me.
Yeah.
It was America's pastime 50 years ago. I would love to do a recent poll and see what the numbers are.
It did definitely be basketball, football.
Yeah. But with that being said, man, like, yeah, what are some of your hobbies that you like to do, when you're not doing music?
I love drawing. Drawing is always fun. Like growing up, I used to literally, my grandma would get mad at me because I used to take my composition notebooks that were for school and for school only, and I would take them and like I would literally draw comic books in them. Like I would use all the pages and like make stories and make my own characters up, and like it got so bad that every year when she would have to buy new notebooks, she would hide them from me, so I wouldn't like go in them and take a notebook and start drawing in it. So that was definitely a passion of mine. And then I love math. I still like math, but I really loved it back then, just because I guess it was easier. So it was easier to do.
I'm telling you, man, math between like math, I can't remember. Well, we were somewhere and it was some crazy math question, and you just solved it. And I was looking like, what the world just happened? It was something crazy.
It's fun.
But yeah, But I think that also helps with the music too. Certain notes in certain ways, and it's like I know this is work because of this math thing.
Yeah.
And shout out to Antonio Hart. Antonio Hart is really into the math equation of the music as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's
definitely a science. Oh yeah, man, for sure. He would love to rap with you about whatever. Yeah. What was I about to say? So, and the word search thing. Like when I was seeing you playing that gibberish game, you should have seen my face. I was sitting there like, Jeffrey's a genius. You was solving the joint before it came up. I was like, what is going on?
I got fed up with it, bro. I was like, they're not making it hard. I saw some other ones that some other people had that were actually difficult. I was like, yo, where are these at for me? Like, I don't know. They were cool. That was a fun game. I would just read it mentally, and then somebody got mad at me because they were like, you're supposed to read it out loud, and you're supposed to struggle with it. And I'm like,
no. Why I say life don't have to be hard.
Exactly. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, man. It was like I don't know, man. It was like watching somebody at the beginning of like Wheel of Fortune, and you'd be like, I'm just solve now. The answer is wheelhouse. Everybody's like, whoa!
Yo, honestly, I can't lie. Like, that's the kind of stuff I would do whenever I used to watch. Like, my grandpa would always used to watch, like, the Game Show Network. So he would always used to watch, stuff like Wheel of Fortune and Lingo and stuff like that. And I would always try to solve it before he does. So I guess maybe that's like where it's sort of the mental competition, I guess, started. I
was going to say, speaking of competition, how competitive are you, would you say, on a scale of 1 to 10?
I don't know if I'm that competitive. I think it depends. I definitely don't think I'm aggressive.
Okay.
Aggressively competitive. I think either I care plenty enough to compete, or I just don't care at all to compete. Like, what I'm saying?
So you would say like a 6 maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
6,
okay.
It's either 6 or like 0.
I got you.
Like, sometimes I just don't care.
No, for me, yeah, for me, I get competitive when somebody's talking smack, and one, I don't think they can back it up, or like if
That's yeah.
especially like if it's a game like Uno or something or whatever, you know, Monopoly. I'm like, I beat your ass in Monopoly. I ain't worried about playing on Monopoly.
Like, let's
You know what
go.
I'm saying? But like I get weirdly competitive about that. Musical wise, I only really get competitive if I feel like somebody is talking more than they can back up. That's the only
Yeah,
time, you know. And it's been a couple of little situations, but it's mostly young stuff, you know.
I feel you.
Now I just be chilling.
Most def. Same here, bro.
Um, well, you know, we definitely have you in here, and we want to talk about your newest release, Songs About Women. And
Mm.
so, you know, could you play us? We talked about you playing a couple tracks, but like when you introducing this first track, you know, what was the inspiration for the album? I mean, Songs About Women. I mean, you know, it's always a time to talk about women and
Of
you
course.
know just how amazing they are, you know, how resourceful they are, the strength of a woman,
Yeah.
the passion and the creativity and when you have somebody who believes in you in your corner, it's really nothing like it. You know, that's for anybody,
Hmm.
but especially, you know, just a woman being able to speak of, you know, affirmation into you. It's
Hmm.
really a great feeling. So what made you come up with this album title and, you know, and the concept?
Honestly, it was like I was in this weird period. Not even weird. Yeah, it was kind of weird. It was a period of like self-reflection where I was just like, man, I think it might have come. It was like toward the end of when my relationship with a certain female was sort of like not working out,
Yeah.
and it just put me in this period of self-reflection where I was like, man, like I gotta. It just made me think about my relationship with different women in my life, romantically and non-romantically, just in general. And I was like, man, why do women affect me so much, or like why have I made mistakes with certain women, um, or why, you know, why is my relationship with a certain woman like this, etc. So it just really boiled down to me realizing that I was literally raised by women. So there's this inherent just like respect and reverence that I have for the woman that is just like is special, I think. And so
Yeah,
it
that's real.
just I think it was a real that sort of epiphany was like a real moment in my growth because I think it sort of made me focus on it sort of made me man up in a way too because it
Yeah.
was just like I have to focus on moving a certain way when it comes to a woman, not necessarily like treating her like she's different, just like making sure that I'm not disrespecting
Yeah,
anybody,
yeah, 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 yeah,
especially if
yeah.
I don't mean to, you know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
so naturally that made me want to sort of honor the people, the women in my life who helped me become the man I am today. So
That's real.
it started with I feel like I should have started with family, which I did. So I wrote a song for my sister, my twin sister, Justice. And
Yeah, okay.
yeah, then I wrote a song for my grandmother who raised me and my sister.
That's hilarious.
And,
My sister just got in the chat. That's hilarious you talking
oh,
about that.
hey, yeah. And
But
then
yeah.
yeah, then I wrote a song for my mom who passed away when I was a year old.
Oh wow. Okay.
Um, so it was that song is special because it's kind of like an open letter, but I'll explain that
Yeah,
later,
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
guess.
for sure. Well,
And then the
but
last
talk to us about. I was gonna say, talk to us about maybe the first song you gonna play for us.
Okay, yeah, the first song is called Justice. I just tried to. That was probably the first song that I started to write for the project. And I just sort of let whatever melody or whatever harmonies came to me while I was thinking about my sister. I sort of just internalized and wrote down.
Mm.
Slash voice memo, I guess. Um, and so I literally just sat. I think I was in the Juilliard lounge when I was like student lounge when I was like, all right, I'm gonna write a song for my sister. What is this even gonna sound like? And so I just sat there and just let it come to me. And then it came to me, and then I just wrote it down. And I was like, all right, let's get it. And so this is dedicated to my sister, but it's also kind of like a tribute to Roy Hargrove.
Word. Okay.
Rest in peace. Just because of the way, you know, the sort of the grooves of the song, you know, the swing when it switches to swing and you know, so I think it definitely captures his vibe, especially, you know, when Strasberg Symphony was like huge when I was in high school. So I was like, okay,
that's real.
I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well, so we're gonna check out this first song, everybody. This is from Jeffrey's EP. I think it is.
Yeah, it's an EP. Yeah, it's an EP.
Yeah. So this
Songs
is from
About
Jeffrey's
Women.
EP, Songs About Women. It's available on SoundCloud. Is it coming on streaming platforms soon?
Yeah, definitely coming out soon on streaming platforms. We're working on that.
Well, listen, when you get it up, you let me know. I'll share the word. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Because we definitely want to support you and all the excellent music you're making, man. So without further ado, I'm gonna let you take over, man. You got it.
For sure. Yeah. You want me to play the whole thing or just like, because it's like 9 minutes?
Yeah, play like maybe 2 minutes. You know.
Cool. Let me know.
Woo. Yeah. I got you. Woo. Yeah. Yeah, get him, Jeffery. Yeah. Yeah, man. I think that's good right there.
Okay.
I mean, you smacking though. You smacking. I
was trying to tap in, bro.
You was talking with the ancestors, my man. They would be proud. They'd be proud.
Thanks, bro.
Let's talk about that a little bit. First of all, a couple of questions. Oh, by the way, everybody, as you can see on the bottom of your screen, that should be Songs About Women live at Dizzy's. From Jeffrey's page, you could go there and check out the link on SoundCloud.
And on SoundCloud for now.
Yeah. And after the interview, I'll share the link as well and all that stuff. So your band, man, it's funny, man. Usually when I hear a lot of younger musicians, they're still they don't sound like a band, if that makes sense. It sounds like you know what I mean? Like it's hard to get a band sound in New York. So how did you go about picking the members of your ensemble? And like I said, y'all gelled right away. Did just rehearse before the gigs came, or how did you go about developing your sound with your group?
So I knew that it's kind of an interesting story. I think most of us in the band met at Juilliard. Everybody except the drummer. So the band is Chris Bittner on tenor sax.
Shout out to Chris. That's my dude.
The guy. And Sean Mason on piano.
Word.
Philip Norris is on bass. And Brian Richburg is on drums for this recording.
I need to check him out.
Yeah, he's young. He's next up from New Orleans.
Word. Okay.
So I knew that in my band, period, I wanted a drummer, at least, if not from New Orleans, somebody who had the New Orleans groove and the New Orleans feel just down, you know what I mean? Just down pat, just like inherently in within him or her or them. So I knew that it had to either be a drummer from New Orleans or somebody who could really tap in. So that was like probably the first step, because I feel like if you have a great drummer, then it's easier. A band always sounds good or not depending on the drummer mostly, because they're so much in charge of what navigating.
If you have a drummer who's listening to the entirety of the ensemble and reacting off that, it makes a profound difference than a drummer who is listening to themselves and reacting off themselves. Exactly,
bro. Exactly. And you can just feel when it's not like it's not quite it too. Yeah. So and that sometimes that's just a conversation, or sometimes it's just not meant to be. You know what I mean? It just depends. But in this case, Brian was like my first call for the gig, just because I knew he. When I first started working, when he went up to Berkeley, and I knew he was around more often, I would just be able to call him. So he knew most of the music anyway. So I had to put him on, and then Philip Norris, he's just
great. Shout out to Philip. Yeah. One of the young boys just slanging. He's slanging.
Bro, he's just slanging. I'm trying to tell you, he's slanging it.
He's slanging the bass. I hear you, man.
He plays the bass like a horn, but at the same time, he plays the bass like.
Right. You can still feel the hump, but also he's like playing lines with you and stuff. Yeah,
exactly, bro. Like his technique, his facility is just ridiculous.
That camel has many humps. He's a bad cat.
I'm trying to bro. the biggest camel in the desert, bro.
I'm gonna ask you one more question, and then we can get into some more music. You talked about. I think this is important. Because we talk about influences. So this is a two-parter. All right. So you talked about who are some of your influences on other instruments. First of all, like give me, I don't know, maybe three people that are influences that are not on the trombone, gotcha. And then three that are on the trombone.
For sure. I want to say Freddie Hubbard is my favorite trumpet player.
Okay.
Well,
he's really good.
He's my favorite, like, trumpet, like, playing the trumpet. Like, Louis Armstrong is, like, the GOAT for me. Like, he's my guy. But for trumpet, like, for something about Freddie just speaks to me all the time. So, he's definitely
the beauty about music is that it is subjective. You could say, no, who's going to argue with you about Freddie Hubbard? Like, no, I think it's such a.
He plays too many shapes.
Right.
Like, okay.
In the 80s, his playing was flawed.
Right. It's like,
whatever.
Come on, get out of here. Right.
Come on, man.
So Freddie for sure. I really love. I grew up just listening to Michael Jackson, and I want to. Just because I feel like he's just great. He's greatness. Like, he's just a level that's like so hard to reach. But at the same time, I would kind of put a slash and say Luther Vandross because I grew up on him too.
Word. So, that's what's up, man.
So that's number two.
So Michael MJ Luther is like a 2.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Exactly.
All right.
Because I guess that kind of taps into like the It's like Michael Luther and then Chris Brown a little bit.
Okay.
I think that'd be like the singing influence.
Okay.
The third one, I got to figure this one out. The third influence that's not a trombone player. I gotta really analyze it. Like who? I'll probably say.
Yeah, hit him.
I keep it current. Like my friend John Michael Bradford, he's a trumpet player.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
like,
yeah, man.
We came up together. So, in New Orleans. So,
yeah,
it's like
shout out to John, man. I met John. I met John the same night that I met Nicholas Payton.
Hey.
I was out there working, and John was sitting in with Nicholas Payton, and so we met. I think that was way back in 2011, man. It was definitely before I was living in New York. So shout out to John Michael Bradford. That's a good dude.
I feel like nobody influences you as much as your peers, at least immediately.
And I was going to ask that question as well. And we'll get to the trombones for sure. We'll get back to that after the net. But who are some of your peers? You repping for the young guns, man. On the interview stream. So give me 5 peers that you really rocking with. You can even go a little further if you want, but give me 5 people who really in your age range who you're rocking with in the moment.
Like my age or lower or like around.
Around, so
okay.
a little bit higher, a little bit lower,
Okay.
Just, in your class.
For sure. I want to say, Braxton Cook is doing his thing out here.
Braxton is doing his
thing. He's always inspired me, man. He's actually, one of the 2 people that influenced me to go to Juilliard, actually.
I was going to ask you about that. What with the influence of Juilliard, but yes. So Braxton, we got Braxton. Hit. Okay. Yeah,
Braxton for sure. And along that same line, I don't know if I want to count it as a separate one because it's like kind of the same vein. But Braxton and Jahan Sweet, they're like
okay.
Jahan is a pianist. You know Jahan?
I feel like I know him. I would know him if I saw him, but I don't think I know him by name. And I feel if he know me, I'm so sorry. I promise you, it's so many musicians that what I mean. It's so many cats, but I promise. Hey Amanda, what's going on, Big Apple Jazz? Shout out to Big Apple Jazz.
Big Apple.
But I hope. Yeah, I will definitely go looking for him. Jahan, what's his last name?
Jahan Sweet. He's a piano player. He went to Juilliard. He was the same year as Braxton.
I'm gonna check.
We were all in the same ensemble, but Jahan's actually a producer now. So he produces for like Drake, the Carters, just like a bunch of people. Eminem, like he's out here.
That's great. That's what's up.
So he's definitely an influence just because he's like so tapped into his sound and what he's passionate about. Okay, number 2.
No, that's number 3.
Oh, my bad.
Braxton and Jahan. I got you.
I'd say Charles Turner's dope.
Okay, word.
Charles Turner. When I first heard Charles, I was like, "Yo, this guy is special."
Yo, his it was funny. I asked him his influences. He was just like, you know how Charles is, man. Charles is one of them cats. He's in the class by himself, man. But it's so dope to rock with him. And just to see him come up,
exactly,
and the way he rides for the band, and off the bandstand. Yeah. I've never felt more protected in all my life. He'll ride, like if something ain't going right in the dressing room, he'd be like, they got to fix this.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Sound check. We got to fix these mics. People need what they, Y'all need some water. Like he take care of his band, and he's a hell of a vocalist.
Then you be like, one more song. He'll be like, okay.
Nah, we done.
No, we're doing another song. I'm taking a break. I'm like, yo,
Child, yeah, man. But like I said, on and off, it's been a pleasure watching his growth, and I'm looking forward to when the world catch up, man, because he be smacking everybody down.
Hopefully NPR does their thing, Tiny does their thing, and knows greatness when they see it, because
Come on,
That
NPR.
was great.
Take us to Washington.
You feel me? Hey, facts. Oh my God.
I'm sorry, but yeah, you owe 4.
Okay.
And feel free to list a couple more. I don't want you to feel, this show is not about putting people in a box. You do your thing.
For sure. I mean, obviously we got to say Chris McBride. Like,
no, we don't. You're still on 4. We're gonna skip past that name.
Nah, bro, you out here, bro. Big bro status, bro.
Man,
Always hustling, bro.
I
Inspired.
appreciate that. I just try to, I try to work hard and set a good example, man. Because
You
when
keep
I was
it real
like,
too, though. At the same time, though.
and I try to, and keeping it, because this is the thing, man. When I was coming up, I didn't have nobody being like, yo, young cat, like me and my boys. We would practice in the practice room all the time, but I didn't have any like big bros, you know what I'm saying? Somebody be like, yo, you should navigate it. That not until I got to like college. And then
Right.
I really started, I had my private lesson teacher, but he wasn't out in the streets, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
like,
yeah.
So like he wasn't a cat. He was cool, but he wasn't a cat,
Right, he wasn't out here like that.
Yeah, so like I always made a point when I got, if I ever got to a place where I could be an influence, that I would try to use my powers for good, man. Because it's why should you have the same pitfalls that I've had coming up?
Exactly. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I wish somebody would have told me, hey, don't play a free gig. Try to get something. Try to get video. You try to get footage. Try to get something out of that experience. You know what I'm saying? Exposure, but like you probably, when you was coming up, you probably had somebody like, yo, don't do no exposure gigs. That's some BS. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel like my high school Noka probably instilled that in me. They're like, nah.
Oh, you went, okay, so Noka is that the famed high school in New Orleans? You went there as well?
Yeah, it's not the same as it used to be, but yeah.
I got you. They always say that. Everybody say that.
I mean, okay, yeah, you're right, bro. Okay,
yeah, everybody gonna be like, when they're coming up, they're gonna be like, the cats under you gonna be like, man, when Jeffrey was here, man, it was on a whole nother level, bro. And now I'm here repping, and it's cool, but like it ain't.
I mean, look, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy, but yeah, I mean, yeah, they're definitely like, nah, if you can get paid for this, like, you should be getting paid for like your time and what you do. So, plus, like, we live in the internet age now, bro. Like, getting paid for exposure or doing a gig for exposure is like, yo, we got the internet. Like, you can expose yourself to low-key. Like,
right.
You know what I'm
saying? Congratulations. You got exposure.
Right. It's like,
you're on hit gyms. You did it.
Exactly.
Okay, so I think you're on 4. We're skipping past me, and we're going to 4.
Whatever, bro.
I'll be an honorable mention. Thank you. I appreciate it. Number 4.
Number 4. Peters. I mean, I said John Michael in the last one, but he's out there. I would say I want to count this as one entry, but
yeah.
Gifton Jellen's band.
Okay, the whole band.
Yeah, because it's because I use all the slots for everybody. It's like it's kind of doesn't make sense to do, but
no, that's real. So it's that's Gifton,
Emmanuel.
Why am I? Thank you. I was about to say Harris. I'm like, I know that ain't right.
Emmanuel Harris.
I know that ain't right. But shout out to Emmanuel Wilkins, man. One of the, he's tearing the scene up and just a cool brother, And he has some shoes on, man. Y'all young cats in these shoes, man. I'm mad jealous, man.
I think those are some Marsalis or something like that. I know which ones he was wearing.
The shoe game is crazy.
He has some fucking camel. Excuse my language. Some like camel slippers or some moose. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But not only that, but he's also incredible on multiple instruments. One time I went to smoke, and his band was supposed to be playing, Emmanuel's band, and this dude was playing drums. Like his drummer didn't show up or something, and he was playing drums and smacking. I was like,
yep. On keys, he's nice. On bass, yeah, it's one of those.
Yeah, he's just one of them cats.
I mean, we did Grammy band together. That's when we met.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And he was doing the same. He was on drums. He hopped on drums. Everybody was like, "What in the world?" Yeah,
Who's the rest of the bands? Micah? Is it Micah
Micah
on
Thomas,
piano?
yeah, Philip Norris,
Micah.
and
Word.
Kyle Benford.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Kyle,
Mm-hmm.
the young boy.
Young boy. Yeah,
Young
he's
boy.
they're all
Out of
great.
Miami.
I remember when I first heard, like, before he came to Juilliard, he was like, I don't know if I should apply, bro. And I was like, he's like, I don't know if I'm good enough. I'm like, man, you sound amazing. You'll definitely do fine.
Well, we're gonna definitely talk about Juilliard a little bit, but before we get into that, why don't you introduce the second song you want to play for us?
Okay.
Tell us about it.
This one's kind of sad, but it's fine.
Yeah, I ain't tripping.
It's this one's called Marie, and I wrote this for my mom because she passed away when my sister and I were a year old. She passed away, so it's pretty sad. So I never really knew her. At least I don't remember much about her. But you know, I've grown up. I've heard, you know, family and friends speak about her, and you know, so this one, it's kind of like an open letter to her. Just, you know, trying to talk to her and trying to reach out to her. And it's basically, you know, when you're listening, try to like imagine a little boy just like trying to, you know, reach up and talk to his mom, you know, who's not here necessarily. So that's kind of, whenever I play the song, that's kind of how I feel. So I usually, when I was playing it live, this whole project is live at Dizzy's, by the way. They gave me a main set date, and they were like, we want you to present this music. And I was like, cool. So this is the last song of the set. So that's also some context. So here's Marie.
All right.
Sean Mason again.
Shout out to Sean. Beautiful, man.
Yeah.
So everybody who he's like, you gotta wait for the applause because that joint.
That's like, you know, it was good. No.
All right. You heard him, right? Validate. No, everybody who's asking, you can check out Jeffrey's newest work, Songs About Women, live at Dizzy's. Just go to his bio, click the page, all that good stuff. And yeah, man, follow him. If you're not following him, he's got a lot of cool projects coming out. So, you just graduated from Juilliard.
Real quick. Shout out to
go ahead.
Shout out to Caleb Summers. He's a young trombone player. He's a young trombone player coming up from New Orleans. He's next up for sure.
Yo, what's up, man? Shout out. I hope to have him on here in 5 years.
Young cat, for real, though.
Yo, I'm with it, man. I'm gonna be checking him out now. I'm gonna write his name down. Caleb.
Sure. With a K.
I got you.
For sure. Anyway.
Caleb with a K. All right. So, Juilliard, you know, I'm sure you've had many experiences there.
Yeah.
Some good, some bad. What made you decide to go to Juilliard, and was it what you expected? You know, because I'm sure you heard a lot of stories before you got there. You know, and so was it exact, like, were you prepared? Were you like, all right, I was prepared for this, or were you like, what is happening?
So I mean, the reason I decided to go to Juilliard because Winton encouraged me to apply. We were in New Orleans, and he was in town during his Abyssinian Mass show, and he was playing in New Orleans at the Sanger Theater. And this was when Irvin there was a party hosted at Irvin Mayfield's house at that time.
Shout out to Irvin Mayfield.
I mean, it was before the whole. Anyway.
Yeah. It's all good. Shout out to Irvin Mayfield.
It's all good. Anyway, so it was before that whole thing was really escalated. So, everybody pulled through. The Jazz Lincoln Center cats, pulled up. It was a whole hang. Plus, it was like kind of like a celebration for Ellis's birthday too. Rest in peace. So it was like a jam session too. So cats were sitting in, and Winton was playing. He was sitting in. We were playing a blues, and Winton sat in. And he heard me play, and afterwards, he approached me, and I probably approached him. I can't remember exactly, but we started talking. We ended up talking, and he was like, "You should apply for, or you should think about going to school in New York." And I asked him which schools, and he was like, "Consider Juilliard, and the rest of them." But he mentioned Juilliard, so I was like, "Okay, maybe I should take this seriously." So
that answers that question when you took it seriously.
Yeah. So I mean, I kind of applied last minute too. I wasn't sure if I even wanted to, but then I just was like, let me just do this. Yeah, and so I just sent in like some raggedy pre-screening tapes, and then apparently they liked it well enough to call me in for a live audition. So
nice.
I did that, and then ended up getting in, which is great. And so then, fast forward to first year, it was cool. It was exciting, especially because I was in New York for the first time living there. So it was a vibe.
The experience, going to the jam sessions, meeting the cats. Yeah,
exactly. It was cool. Yeah. I didn't really go out as much as I should have. Like, I definitely stayed in the bubble for a good bit before I really branched out and went to places like Smalls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I liked the Juilliard environment. It was cool. It was cool. I mean, it was just cool to meet so many really, really talented people. Like, they were just really, 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 really talented. Like, especially the actors. Like, I went to my first serious play. And since then, I fell in love with what they do, and then from then on, I went to all the plays that I could go to, and then, you know, that's really, really my favorite thing about it is just how many differently talented people there are at that school. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
That's like my favorite thing about it.
It's interesting when you grow up and you're like you're the cat in your circle, and then you get out your circle and you're like, man, it's a lot of cats out here. It's a whole alley full of cats.
Yeah, a whole alley. Wow. Yeah, it could either deter you or it could motivate you, and I feel like I was definitely motivated. I think I felt like if I were coming from if I were going into like a classical program or like a program that's more competitive than like a jazz program, I feel like I would definitely be more intimidated. Mm-hmm. But, you know, jazz is like, everybody's so different. Everybody's an individual. So it's not really about, you know, beating someone out of a gig or like, you know what I mean? It's more about like what you offer to the music. So I think maybe that's why.
What was your, I'm going to ask you one more question, then I'm going to let you play us out. But what was your favorite class at Juilliard?
My favorite class was both classes that were taught by Kendall Briggs. He taught us Counterpoint and tonal counterpoint, and yeah, we would write fugues. He was our teacher for first year and second year. And we would write fugues and stuff like that. It was really dope. It just helped us. And he was so passionate about it, what he was. He's a genius. Like Kendall Briggs is a genius. And I just learned so much from him.
Word.
And he made everything so not easy, but like he made it understandable, and he made it easy to be passionate about it. So those are my favorite classes taught by him, Kendall Briggs.
Got you. So you listed Trombone Shorty as an influence and also as a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
What other mentors would you say that you know that have really kind of guided you and taken you under their wing and showed you a lot?
I would definitely say Delfeayo Marsalis definitely has. I started playing professionally with him since I was 14. Known him since I was like 12 or so.
Right.
Maybe 11. But played professionally with him when I was 14. Since I was 14 at Snuck Harbor every Wednesday with his big band. And yeah, I guess he saw something, and other cats in the band were like, yo, you should, you know, get with him. So I guess they put a word in, put a bug in his ear, and then he started getting with me, and we started linking up, and he started like giving me solos to learn, things to check out. He literally made me write essays about people's solos, like transcribe them and write essays about, you know, what they could possibly mean behind their solos and, you know, analyzing it. So he literally gave me assignments. Like, even though I had other school to deal with, he was like, do this.
He said, I don't care. Did you get my work done?
Exactly, though.
And when a cat takes you under their wing like that and they're already working, it's like, what you gonna say? No? Are you serious about the music or not?
That's the thing. It's like, you know, plus I was a kid. I was a teenager, so like I was definitely like very rebellious. And his method, his approach to tutelage wasn't necessarily the most like kind. Like he can be kind of an asshole a lot of the time.
Yeah, that's real.
It's like, you know, I would get pissed off most of the time. It's like, yo, why are you talking? You know, why are you doing, like, who are you? Like, well, you know who we are, but it's like, you know, what are you doing?
Why are you talking to me like this?
Exactly. So it's like,
yeah, I got you. It's hard, man. It's hard. Even with, it's like, yo, I pull up my pants the same way you do, man. Just let's talk as people, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So for the longest time, I actually never really thought I would consider him like a mentor, really, because like I was just so rebellious and didn't like the way, you know, he handled things.
Yeah.
In the moment,
it worked out.
But in retrospect, like it's probably what I needed to really be serious about it. Yeah, I mean, now I think I'm pretty sure he respects me as a person, as a player, as a man. So like,
Yeah, we got 20 seconds left. I want to finish with you. So is it cool? Can we like end this one and then come back?
Yeah, let's
And
get it.
you know, we'll do, you know, like a 10-minute. We'll finish up 10 minutes. Hey, thank you guys for checking it out. We'll be back 10 more minutes with Jeffrey Miller. Don't go away.
Yeah, don't go away.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back to Hidden Gems Part 2 with my man Jeffrey Miller. You know, we had a nice hour talking about some really cool stuff. And not only that, but at the end of the shout out to the Corey Wallace Dub Tat. I see you, my brother. Good to see you, man. Yeah, but we were, you know, just talking about a number of topics, and I didn't want to cut him off so quickly, you know. But yeah, we're gonna finish up talking to him about Juilliard, and then hearing a couple more tunes, man. Yo, shout out to the
big dog. I got to talk to you too, Corey. But I'm a holler at you because I had brainstorming. I always got something cooking in the tank.
Dang.
Welcome back, Jeffrey. How are you, sir?
Hello, Chris. Hi, man.
What's going on, man?
Hi.
I'm so excited to be back here.
Oh my God, it's so long.
Oh my goodness. So I think we were talking about Juilliard and Delfeayo and the relationship, y'all. And so that's interesting. You know, usually when people talk about mentors, it's always like, you know, this is great. You know, my mentor was the most awesome man. He was like, yo, man, he got on my nerves sometimes, but I got it done.
Yeah, it was rough, bro. It was rough at first. I was like, who is this guy think he's talking to? Like, he gonna make the New Orleans come out of me real quick.
Right.
Anyway, but no, I definitely got annoyed a lot of the time. But it was, you know, in retrospect, it was definitely, I learned a lot. And it was, you know, it meant a lot to have somebody care that much to, you know.
Yeah.
To
how was it? I mean, because when you toured with Jazz and Lincoln Center, you were still relatively, I mean, maybe 20, 21, you know?
I turned 21 on the road.
So how was that experience turning 21 on the road with Jazz and Lincoln Center? You know, give us the you know, the PG version.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. So I mean, it was lit. I mean,
it was lit.
PG version. Start off with it was lit.
Right.
No, it was great. I mean, you know, I mean, it was really not much really changed except I could legally drink. I mean, I could technically legally drink in Europe, but like
in Europe anyway, yeah.
But you know, it was a different thing. I mean, I had not drank up until then.
Okay, you drink. So,
yo, Chris Johnson in the building. Hold up.
Yo, Chris Johnson. Yeah, all the trombone cats popping through, man. That's what's up.
Oh my God, Miles. Okay.
Was there anybody in the band who you say you know, like kind of you bonded with and you know had some pretty good conversations with?
Paul Nadella and I always joke that he's my best friend. But he's cool. I don't even know why that joke came about, but no, he's
that's
cool.
hilarious.
Oh my God. But I think I definitely bonded with Carlos a good bit, I would say. He's just hilarious.
Word, okay.
And also I think I bonded a lot with David Robinson, who's the sound guy.
Okay, I was like, y'all just had David Robinson, the 5-time All-Star from the San Antonio Spurs.
Nah, David Sugar Robinson.
Got you. Okay, the sound. Okay, that's real.
These cool
you know.
people. And yeah, there's
at that level too. Everybody's like, I'm going to my hotel room. Happy birthday. We'll see you.
I mean, we were in Dresden. And
happy 21st birthday. We'll see you later. I'm going to my hotel.
I turned 21 in Dresden, I believe. It was either Dresden or some city in Poland, but pretty sure it was Dresden. And Luckily, I spoke German, so it was kind of a vibe. But
what the hell? How do you just randomly speak German?
I studied for 2
This
years.
is what I be talking about. This young genius stuff is what I be. How you just go? Oh yeah, I spoke German, so I was cool there, and then we went to Luxembourg, and it was a vibe. What you talking about?
No,
Tell me about
for
German.
2 years in high school. I studied for 2 years in high school, and then I re-upped on I took a year in college just because it was an easy credit, I guess. So
Dog, you took a year of German at Juilliard.
It was either a year or a semester. I think it was a year. Yeah.
Wow, bro. Do you speak any other languages?
Gibberish.
Do you play any other instruments?
Yeah. So trombone, vocals, tuba, piano a little bit, and euphonium.
Okay, nice. Okay, all the stuff that could carry a New Orleans brass band, essentially.
Pretty much.
Yo, trombonist is out, Jeffery. Euphonium is out, Jeffery.
Right, euphonium, of course. I'm trying to figure out how to learn trumpet eventually. I mean, it's just the hole is so small. Pause. So I gotta figure that out, and then maybe flute. I'm kind of want to get into flute a little bit.
That's a vibe. You should talk to Brent Burkhead. That's who I'm gonna take lessons with. My cat has joined us for the second half. He was like, shout out to Eggy. He got an Instagram page. Tell him, Eggy. Tell him about your Instagram page.
Hey.
The first half he was cool. He was like, all right, you supposed to be done now. Now it's my turn.
It's my turn with you. Yeah.
But yeah, man. First of all, I just want to say thank you for your time, man. I really appreciate it. I know it's a very interesting time that we're in right now, and just seeing you grow, seeing the cats you're working with, and seeing you develop as a musician and as a human being, man. It's been a pleasure, bro. And I'm looking forward to continuing the journey, continuing the journey together, man. It's gonna be a vibe.
For sure, bro. I appreciate it.
What's the last tune you want to play for us, man? You got such incredible music. And listen, guys, if you want to check out Jeffery's music, please go to his link in his bio on his page. You could click the screen in your upper left. You could go right to his page. Follow him real quick.
Please follow.
The link is there from Dizzy's songs about women. What's the name of your band?
So we have a name technically, but it's not announced yet. So it's kind of a secret for now. Because I'm working on, getting the logo made, and I wanted to do a photo shoot, but I don't think we have time for that at the moment.
just do a photo shoot where everybody screenshots their phone and then just put that as a flyer.
Low key, that's kind of hard. But yeah. Also shout out to the guy who was just pull a Wyclef and play trumpet with a trombone mouthpiece. He actually gave me one of those hybrid mouthpieces for my birthday, so I should probably do that.
Well, yeah, man. So, but yeah, play your last song, man. And like I said, just keep up with Jeffery on this page. If you want to keep following Hidden Gems, just follow me.
Great thing.
The next, let me think. We got Junius Paul, the great bassist from Chicago, coming in on Friday, and coincidentally one of my childhood friends. But
nice.
That's neither here nor there. And then we got Oren Evans, the great pianist out of Philly. Adopted hometown of Philly from Trenton, New Jersey, but he's coming in on Sunday. So we got some incredible people coming up. So hopefully you guys keep up with us. And again, shout out to King Bone, my man.
Gang. Appreciate you, bro.
Jeffrey Miller.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So what's your last tune, man? We'll let you play us out of here.
This last tune is so it was originally inspired by, it was originally written for my girlfriend at the time, but we're not together anymore. So,
right. Shout out to.
I mean, nah, we're gonna do that right now, but it's so
no names.
No names. But we're not together anymore, so I changed the name of the song and I kind of changed the meaning of it as well. So now it's called The Queen, and it stands for the power and the the grace that women have that they don't really get credit for. So this is called The Queen.
Bet y'all.
Philip Norris on the bass.
Humping.
Humping,
That
bro.
joint sound like he in my damn house.
Right? Woo.
Tell Sean tune up that piano, man.
I died. I went.
Hello.
Wait. Dallas 4.
What's the name of this one?
The Queen.
Ooh. I love the swinging bridges. You'll hit something real hard.
What'd you say?
I said you'll have these like hard hitting A's, and then the bridges is just cooking.
Tension and release, baby.
Yeah, all day.
Chris Bender.
See Biddy getting busy.
Again. Brian Richburg in the building. Smacking on the drums. Go ahead, Brian.
Yo, shout out Kenneth Leffridge out of Chicago. Ooh. I like the changes too.
Yeah. Some minor blues with a you know, flat 5 major 7. Flat 5. Let me know when you want to, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm chilling, but I guess we could start saying our goodbye. You got anything you want to put up before we get out of here?
No. I mean, just like stay tuned for the official release of the project.
Got you. Yeah,
it's coming out. toward the end
Well,
of the
listen,
month.
you got a friend of the music here, man. So when it come out, let me know. I'll share
Appreciate
it
you.
out. All that good stuff, man. Like I said, if you want to keep up with Hidden Gems, please just follow me. If you want to join the virtual street team, just holler at me. You know, I send them out, and we trying to spread the word and get people hearing about the good music of such as Jeffrey Miller and all the other incredible artists that are coming through the Corona Lounge.
Corona Lounge. Hey,
you like the vibe?
I love it.
But yeah, man, I appreciate you for your time, man. Everybody, be
Appreciate
safe
you.
out there, and hopefully we'll see you on Friday. I appreciate.
Sure,
Look,
bro.
and look, Dallas Fort, like I gave him a cookie. It's too late.
Right.
It's over.
Good look though.
But nah, I appreciate you again, man, and I'll definitely holler at you soon.
For sure, bro. Tap
All
in.
right.
Stay safe, bro.
Take care, everybody. Stay safe, man. I'll see y'all. Take care, everybody.
Gang.